Okay. So today we'll start with module 1, which is Laplace transform. In M3, you are going to study about 3 transforms. One is Laplace transform, then Fourier transforms and Z transforms. These are actually mainly very useful for circuit branches, but as this mathematics is common for all the branches, so even you people need to study about it. Okay, so I'll start with first the definition. So here, suppose we have a function of t. Okay, this is module 1, Laplace transforms. Okay, to tell about what is transforms is actually the main basic thing. They have derived, like mathematicians have derived the integral transforms, and they have taken the particular cases, different cases, and from where, like after taking different cases, okay, they have obtained different transforms, and they are being named differently. So here, one among them is Laplace transforms. So suppose we have a function of t. Okay, function of t, this is a real valued function. Do you know the meaning of real valued function? Any idea regarding real valued function? Because this word is no, hopefully you're not hearing for the first time. In maths also, it's often used. Any idea? Okay. Now here real valued function means here you have t. Okay, t is a variable. This is actually an independent variable. So this t, you can this t can take any value between minus infinity to plus infinity. So minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, so many different values. So many values are there. Infinite number of values are there. So this is a real line. Hopefully you are aware that minus infinity to infinity, it's a real line. So if this t is allowed to take any value between minus infinity to plus infinity, and if you define a function on that real value, real variable, it is called as real valued function. Okay, now here we'll not take the whole real line, we'll just take the positive half. That means here our real variable t is varying from 0 to infinity. Okay, so t is varying from 0 to infinity. Then we'll take a function f on such a variable t. Now, suppose for this function f of t, I'll take one integral, which is nothing but integration e raised to minus st and then f of t dt. This is some integral, okay, which is with respect to t, where t is varying from 0 to infinity. If suppose this integral exists, if this integral exists, then this is called as Laplace transform of the function f of t, and it is denoted as L of f of t. Hopefully you got the point. So we are taking a variable t which is taking the values from 0 to infinity, means it is taking only positive real values. Then we'll take a function f of t. Suppose for this f of t, if you just take an integration e raised to minus st, we'll take the function f of t and we'll integrate with respect to t between the limits 0 to infinity. If this integral exists, then it is called as Laplace transform of f of t. This is the notation. Now just answer my one question. When you just do the integration part and everything, tell me finally it will be containing what? Whether it will be like a constant, whether it will be in terms of t or in terms of s, after doing all the integration, everything.
Constant, ma'am.
Constant? Any other answer?
In terms of t, ma'am.
In terms of t? Are you saying t?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other answer? I gave 3 options, no? You have chosen both wrong options. Actually, it will be a function of S. Just think, you substitute for t, correct? F of t, a function of t. Then you have to integrate with respect to t. Agree? So it will be t. And this S, whatever it is, no, it will remain as S only, will not change it. Where we substitute the value of t, upper limit minus lower limit. So there won't be a t. Correct? So isn't it, it will be a function of S, because remaining thing will be a S. Agree? If you have done an integration, you can understand what I am explaining here. So whenever you apply Laplace transform of f of t on any function of t, resulting thing, it's a function of S. In some of the textbooks, S is referred as U. And even some teachers use it as U, but both are one and the same. So this S is actually called as transform parameter. Okay, S is a parameter. Why we are not calling it as constant or a variable is because in the first part where we study Laplace transform, S acts like a constant. And when we study the inverse of this, S acts like a variable. It's playing a double role. Okay, it is constant as well as variable. So altogether we are going, this is actually a parameter. Hope clear? Okay, so this is how the function is, the Laplace transform of a function of t is defined. Okay. Okay. Now here we are going to see what is inverse Laplace. Okay, just here only, just a little simple definition is there. So here Laplace transform of any function of t is f of s, then I'll transfer L that side. L will become, if you have sine theta equal to x, suppose, if I transfer a sine, what you will get?
Sine inverse.
Sine inverse. So this is theta will be sine inverse of x. Similarly, if I transform this L, no, that side, it becomes L inverse. Don't write 1 upon L. It's an operator, transform operator. Okay, so it is L inverse of f of s. What remains here? F of t. And this is called as inverse Laplace transform. So Laplace transform is applied on a function of t and inverse Laplace is applied on a function of s. Okay, about this we'll see little later on. First, let us concentrate on this definition. Okay, now we have to see what is the Laplace transform of standard functions. For that, we want some important results. So here I'll just write those results. So first one is, if you take integration of 0, okay, integration of e raised to minus t raised to n minus 1 dt.
Ma'am, it's not clear.
Not clear. 1 second. So here, if you take an integration of e raised to minus t raised to n minus 1 dt, if you remember your beta gamma function, then you can tell me this definition. Okay, or else just take for this is nothing but gamma n. You all learned beta gamma functions in first semester, isn't it? Okay, so whenever you have such an integral, when you have such an integral, this value is fixed as, it is called as gamma n. Hopefully you know the difference. Root n is different and gamma n, they both are different. Okay, now this is helpful in some of the problems. Next, if you just take gamma of n plus 1, you can write the value of this. Anybody remembers this result? Gamma n plus 1. Okay, there is a standard result value. This is nothing but n gamma n. So gamma of n plus 1 can be written as n gamma n. So you are reducing this by 1 and writing it. Okay, this is one standard proof. Already your teacher has proved in first semester. let it be. We are going to use it over here. Then this n will apply the same theory. We'll keep this n as it is. N is no problem. We'll see what is the value of gamma. Now, how gamma n plus 1, have you write reduce it by 1, then gamma of that reduced value. Similarly, how can we write gamma n? This
A
gamma
raised to
n.
minus t, t and
No, not that. I'm asking the same type of result. I'm asking the continuation. I'll keep this n as it is. I'm asking the result what we applied here. Can we apply it for gamma n? Means suppose if you have gamma 5, suppose. So you can write it
Gamma.
as 4 gamma 4. Got it? So 4. How to write gamma 4?
3 gamma 3.
3 gamma 3.
3 gamma 3. How to write gamma 3?
2 gamma 2.
2 gamma 2, right? So similar way, how to write gamma n now?
N minus 1
N
gamma
minus
n
1
minus.
gamma n minus 1.
Very good. Okay. Again, just apply it. So I'll write n minus 1 as it is. What is gamma n minus 1? Reduce it by 1.
Minus 2 gamma.
N minus 2
n
gamma
minus
n
2,
minus 1.
gamma n minus 2, like this, n minus 3, n minus, like this. If you go on applying, you'll get it as 3, 2, 1, and gamma 1 is actually 1 only. If you want how, you can take this integral, you put f of t as 1, you will get the value as 1. Gamma 1 is 1 only. Okay. Will you tell me what is this continuous product? How it is denoted by?
N factorial.
Very good. It is n factorial. So there is a relation that gamma n plus 1 can also be written as n factorial, provided it should be a whole number, positive whole number. If I write suppose minus 3 factorial, can you tell me what is minus 3 factorial? Is it defined?
no.
Minus 3 into
No.
minus 5 to
Similarly,
minus
like
3.
No.
if it is plus 3 factorial, it is defined. Agree? So we can write like this, provided n should be what? Positive. You can say a whole number. Suppose if I have 1 by 2, okay, can you write 1 by 2 factorial?
No, ma'am.
No, we cannot. Okay, so here we will use this result if you have, okay, if you have a positive whole number, otherwise we'll stick on to this result. Okay, when it comes to a problem, I'll just explain. Now, after this, we have one more result, which is integration of e raised to ax into, if you take sine bx, suppose. This is one of the standard result. E raised to ax into sine bx. Anybody remembers this integral? You have used, I think, in PUC, not in maths, in engineering maths. PUC 2 mathematics you might have used. Okay, let me just tell you, this is one of the standard thing. Do remember, it is e raised to ax. Now we cannot, this is the product. We cannot do it by parts. So we have to use this result. Why? Because if you want to do it by parts, no, derivative of one of the function should be 0 after some step. Tell me, is exponential or sine becomes 0? Derivative of that, okay, at any stage, you do it 100 times, 1000 times. These two are going to change. Exponential remain as exponential, sine changes to cos changes to again sine, like that, never ending, right? So we cannot apply by parts. We have to use this result. So this is e raised to ax divided by a square plus b square. Just see what is a. A is coefficient of x in the exponential. B is coefficient of x in the trigonometric. Then into a into, so suppose if you have sine, no, you should write sine first. Sine bx. And if you have a sine, no, in between, minus b cos bx. B cos bx. This is one standard integral. On similar lines, you can tell me what is, okay, if you have exponential with cos. Tell me what you will get. E raised to ax into cos bx. It's similar result. See, I'm giving both because on comparison basis, you can remember, because this is hardly used, but I think we'll use it for 2 to 3 times this semester. Okay. So suppose if you have cos, so what can you guess? So it should be A into cos will come first. Okay. Then one changes here. If you have sin, you'll get in between minus, but when you have a cos, you will get it as plus. Plus. Okay. And what can you guess what should be the next term here?
B sin.
B sin.
B sin
B
AX.
sin bx. So do remember on comparison basis that it is going to be outside quantity same. Inside, no, when you have sin is given first preference and in between a minus. If you have cos will come first and then in between a plus. So on comparison basis, no, you will not do mistake. Otherwise, during exam or during solving, no, you may do that mistake. Hopefully clear with the result. This is standard result. And yeah, after this, we'll see what is Laplace transform of standard functions. There are some 8 standard functions are there. So we are going to actually derive. Okay, we are going to derive. This is Laplace transform of standard functions. I'll give you proper notes and all. Here while discussing now, I'll write it roughly. Is it okay? Because if I keep book and go on reading, you will not understand it. Okay. So here, Laplace transform of standard functions. Now here, there are standard functions means exponential, okay, trigonometric. Then we have it as, in the power of t, like that. Some standard functions we are going to take and see what is the Laplace transform of that. Because we are going to solve problems for which we want those standard functions. Okay, now here basically till now what we know regarding Laplace transform, what you learned only the definition. Am I right? You learned the definition. So this is the basic thing that we'll use this definition, and then if suppose f of t is some constant, we'll replace it as constant. If it is exponential, we'll replace it as exponential. Trigonometric, will replace it as trigonometric. Okay, so this result only, the definition only I'm writing once again. So how a Laplace transform of f of t is defined? What it is? Integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. Be very much clear with the definition. Okay, just to see, if I replace this by some a, here I have to replace it by a. Means what you change in this square bracket, the change occurs only here. Got it? Other all quantities same. Means exponential is fixed, integral limits are fixed, everything is fixed. So what you change here, that change will appear here. Am I clear with the definition? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not clear. Don't know what is happening. Now, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see, this part should be clear. Otherwise, no, what I'll derive, you may not understand it. See, yeah, this is important. What f of t you take here in the square bracket, you need to take it over here. Got it? Okay, so on that basis, we are going to see for the standard functions. So let me just start with a very simple one. So first one is Laplace transform of any constant. A is any constant. Let us see this. So we have already the definition. So we are just going to find, okay, so by definition, what is of f of t? A. So I'll just write it as A here. So that this is now 0 to infinity. Will you tell me what will be the change in this? So what will be same? E raised to minus st will be same. In place of f of t, we need to write it as A and then dt. Am I clear? See, this f of t is there. So here I am replacing it by A means I have to replace only that f of t by A. Okay. Now I'll take A outside. Remaining part is just an integration. What is integration of e raised to minus st?
E raised to minus st
Huh.
divided by s.
Divided by minus s. Correct? We have integration of e raised to ax is what? E raised to ax divided by a.
A.
Same thing. Again, it's not
It's not clear.
ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಏನಾಗಕತ್ತೈತಿ ಇವತ್ತ? Not much heavy rains in Belagavi, but don't know. Problem with e raised to ax is e raised to ax divided by a. Same concept we have applied. So it is with respect to t means we have to write the coefficient of t, that is minus s, the denominator, where t varies from, the limits are for t. T varies from 0 to infinity. Okay. So here, what is s now? In Laplace, s we have to treat it as constant. So I'll take this minus s out, means minus a divided by s. Okay. Now, remaining thing we need to, remaining part is we have to apply the limit. So upper limit is infinity. What is e raised to minus infinity? Do you know what is e raised to infinity?
1. 1.
1. Very good.
Infinite,
What is infinity?
ma'am,
It
infinity.
is infinity. See, e raised to 1, e raised to 2, e raised to 100 and all, if you take, no, is it not increasing order? So obviously, if I take infinity is such a big number, actually we don't know its value. So what will be this quantity? This is again an infinity. E raised to infinity is infinity only. Then if I take e raised to minus infinity, suppose, this can be written as 1 upon e raised to infinity. Okay, you have one thing, a raised to minus n is 1 upon a raised to n. I'm applying the same concept. And what is in e raised to infinity is infinity. What is 1 by infinity?
Not defined.
1 by infinity not defined.
Sorry,
Any
0.
number divided.
0, 0.
Okay, so e raised to minus infinity is 0, whereas e raised to plus infinity is infinity. Okay, now this is e raised to, you are replacing t by infinity. Let it be yes, but it is actually minus infinity, correct? So what is e raised to minus infinity?
0.
Don't show it as e raised to minus infinity here, huh? Don't show that substitution. Just you should know the value minus lower limit. If t is 0, suppose, what is e raised to 0? Plus 0 or minus 0? Any number raised to 0 is
1.
1. Value of the bracket is minus 1. So if you multiply, what will you get? A by
1.
s.
A
What
by
we started with Laplace of any constant a is a by s. Suppose if you have Laplace of 2, what is Laplace of 2?
2 by S.
2 by s.
2 by
You
2
have
by s.
Laplace of some 10 factorial.
10 factorial by
10 factorial by s.
Okay. So likewise, whenever you have Laplace of any constant, you should write that constant into 1 by s. So on this basis, can you guess what should be Laplace of 1 then? Laplace transform of 1 is
1 by s.
1 by
By
s.
okay. Remember, this is very important that whenever you get constant, don't say it is 0 or that constant. You will have to multiply by 1 by s is extra. So isn't it now? See, you are taking the definition and ultimately you are ending up with a function of s. So whenever you apply Laplace transform of any function of t, resulting thing is a function of s. Okay. Now, the second standard function we are going to take is t raised to n. Okay. So again, what we have to use is same equation 1 only. What we have to replace f of t by? F of t, in place of that, what we have to write?
t raised to n.
T raised to n.
Tell me the change here. 0 to infinity, e raised to minus st. Then what we have to write
T
here?
raised to n. T raised
T
to n.
raised to n
Raised to n.
dt.
T raised to n.
Yes. You are keeping the definition as it is. What change you take, what function you take will change only here. Other all terms are same. Now, this is now. Can I take t raised to n outside? How we have taken a out?
No.
No, we cannot because it's a function of t. Here a was constant. So what we have to apply here? We have it as a product of functions. So we have to do it by integration by parts. But by parts, if you want to do no, okay, n plus 1th derivative of t raised to n will be 0 and exponential never becomes 0. So even we cannot do it by parts. So we are going to do some simplification because we want the result.
Beta gamma.
Okay. No, we cannot use beta gamma. This is not comparable with beta gamma. Okay. So here, what we have, what we'll do now, actually here, what you have this part. Yeah, what you said, gamma is correct. Gamma is correct, gamma function. But, okay, in gamma function n, how it is defined? It is e raised to minus t. So this is like you should have it as t in the, means you should have only one variable with a negative sign in the exponential. Then that variable raised to some number will do. That can be written in terms of gamma, correct? So if you compare with that result, we don't have only one, we have two, correct? Two quantities. So the problematic part is this product, correct? Is including minus, it is problematic or only that part?
Only that part.
Only the part. So take that st as some variable. Why? Is it a variable or a constant? First thing. T
Variable.
is a variable. T is a variable. S is actually constant. When you multiply a variable and a constant, what you'll get?
Variable.
Variable. So actually R is also a variable, but S is a constant. Do remember. Huh? Okay. So from this, what is T? You can use R, theta, whatever it is, X, no problems. Okay, I'll use it as X, no problem. ST, we will take it as X. What is T from this?
X by s.
X by x.
Yes. We want now everything should be changed. Huh? That's why we are doing it. So T can be written as X by S. One more thing is there, dt. How to get that? Differentiate. What is dt? Dt will be, S
One-
is constant or a variable?
1 by s.
1 by S will be constant. Then
Constant.
derivative of X will be dx. Okay. Again, if you even you need to check about the limits also. Now the limits are for t. Now just here t, when you have such a infinite type of limit, no. If I put t as 0 here, t as 0, what will be the value of x?
0.
0.
Zero.
It is 0. If I put t as infinity, okay, infinity into s will be again a
Infinity.
Infinity. So you can say x varies from 0 to infinity.
Infinity.
Will not show it by actual substitution, but for everything, no, what you take the substitution, it fixed on that. Okay, let us take these changes over here. So this is integration 0 to infinity. Okay, e raised to minus, what we are taking st as?
X.
St is
X.
x. Then what is your t? T is
X by
X by
x by s. And we have to keep the power n as it is. Correct? What is dt? dt is?
1 by S dx.
Yes.
dx by s.
We'll take the constant quantities out. Tell me in this integral, what is constant? The term containing which
S.
quantity is constant?
Yes.
Yes. So I
S.
take this s outside. The power of s is n here. The power of s is 1 here. So if I want to take it, it will be 1 upon s raised to
N
n
plus
plus
1.
1. N plus
N
1.
plus.
Yeah. So this is 0 to infinity. Then this is e raised to minus x. What is remaining? X raised to n dx. Okay. Now, can you apply that gamma function definition?
Yes.
What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
this? Gamma of
N plus.
is it? See the definition. If you have it as n minus 1, we are writing gamma n. If I suppose n only, if I have it as n only, what will be the value? If you have n minus 1, you should write the next
N
one.
plus
Yes,
1.
this is, yes. So what is the value of this integral is n plus 1.
N plus 1.
Yeah, so gamma, a Laplace of t raised to n can be written as gamma n plus 1 divided by s raised to n plus 1 if n is fraction value. Suppose if n is whole number, positive whole number, how n gamma n plus 1 can be written as? What is gamma n plus 1?
Gamma N. Gamma N.
N
gamma n.
No. Again, you are writing in gamma, which is one more well-known function of mathematics. Gamma can be written in terms of
N into n minus 1.
no, not that. I'm not asking that. Some function we have used now to write gamma n plus 1. You remember the next step. You are not telling me that finally what we got. Isn't it n factorial?
N factorial.
Oh, yeah. N factorial.
Okay. Yes. Already we have proved gamma n plus 1 is n factorial. Okay. So you can write in terms of factorial provided it should be a positive whole number. Otherwise, write it as gamma n plus 1. Suppose for example, so this is what Laplace transform of t raised to n. What is Laplace transform of t? T means t to the power 1. Correct? What is the Laplace transform of t?
1 by
S
s
plus 1.
1
by s
T by
square.
S.
1 factorial. 1 factorial divided by s square, or you can say 1 by s square. Correct? What is Laplace of t raised to 3, suppose? T cube.
Three factorial by
3 factorial
s to
divided
4.
by s raised to 4.
4. Got it? So what will be Laplace transform of t raised to 10?
N
10
10
factorial divided by S
divided by
to
s
11.
raised to 11.
Very good. This is how we can use it for the examples. Okay. I'll take the next one. Laplace of e raised to 8t. Okay, I'll just take 1 second, just 2 minutes. Yeah, by definition it is e raised to minus st dt. Integration limits are fixed. What I have to write in place here?
E raised to a into t.
At. Okay. So now can we have to integrate it. Shall I apply by product? By parts? or any other concept? Whether we have to integrate by parts or any other concepts we can apply to simplify.
Not by parts.
What we have to do then? Can we apply some concept of mathematics here? What is a raised to m into a raised to n?
We apply
A
log
raised
method.
to m
A raised to m plus n.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಈಗ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗನ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು? ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಹಚ್ತೀರಿ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡೈಸಿಸ್, ರೈಟ್? Isn't
Yeah.
it is similar to that? Is it your teacher has told it A only should be there, M should be there? Nothing like that,
No, ma'am.
right? So just apply the same laws of indices. What will be the thing here? E raised to
E
we should
Minus.
add the
E
powers.
minus st.
S
Minus
minus
ST plus 80.
What
What I'll
to
do?
80 minus st.
taking T common, ma'am, like
Taking
Yeah,
T
we'll take
common,
a
A
T
minus
common.
s is inside of it.
We can write A minus S because
Minus
usually
plus.
minus don't look nice, but I'll write minus
A
out.
minus S.
minus
Why I have written a minus out? No, I'll just clarify. Let me just take some 1 or 2 steps. Got it? Don't write it as plus, take it as minus only. Now, what we have to apply here? How can we integrate it? How can we integrate? Isn't it direct? E raised to ax format. Have you right? E raised to minus of s minus a into t divided by
A square plus what?
Minus
S minus a the whole square.
whole square. How you'll get whole square? Huh? In first case, you did not say whole square, and now how whole square will come here? E raised to ax upon a. Along with x, whatever you have, you should write. Correct? This is also similar. This is also similar. Okay, so coefficient of t should be written in the denominator. The variations are for t. T varies from 0 to infinity. Okay, now I'll take minus 1 upon s minus a outside. Upper limit is infinity. If I take e raised to minus infinity, what is the value?
0.
0.
Minus lower limit t is 0. E raised to 0.
1.
1.
1.
So here, what is the thing? Suppose if I take it as plus, I can write it as a minus s, correct? If I take it as plus, then what happens if you take the upper limit, it becomes e raised to infinity. Then you will get the value as infinity minus 1, which cannot be calculated. Agree? Your answer will be infinity. For that
Yes, ma'am.
reason, we have taken a minus out. Okay, now just multiply. This is 1 upon s minus a. So what is Laplace of e raised to a? 1 upon s minus a. Similar to this, what is Laplace of e raised to minus 2t?
1 by S minus 2.
Yes, this is s plus 2. And what is Laplace of e raised to 4t?
1 by S minus
1 by
4.
s minus 4.
S minus 40.
Yeah. So do remember, if you have a minus, get a plus here. If you have a plus, you will get a minus. So altogether, it depends on the result. Laplace of exponential is 1 upon s minus coefficient of t. What do you have in that exponential? Okay. Next. I'll take the next one, which is sine of 80. So Laplace of sine 80. Again, what is the definition? Integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus st. What I have to write here?
Sine.
Sin
Sin 80.
In at dt. How we have to integrate it?
integrate
Part.
No, not by parts. Today's class only I
Yeah.
told.
Cos sin x dx.
Formula.
Ah, so we are going to compare with this. So a, what is the value of a if you compare for this problem? A is minus s, and what is b? B is a. So I'll just write a is minus s and b is a. Okay, I'm just going to compare with that. So it is e raised to, write the exponential as it is, divided by a square. So minus s the whole square plus b square is a square.
A square.
Huh? Then if sign is there, you need to give the preference for sign first. What is a here? A is minus
Minus s
s
sine
sine
Sin
of
80.
80. So when you
80.
have sign in between, you will get a
Minus
cos.
minus
minus
or a plus. Minus.
minus
Then you should
cos.
write b.
A
What
cos
is
A
b?
a cos
A cos
A
80.
cos 80.
80.
80. So I'll just take a bracket because already we integrated, only we need to substitute the limits. Correct. So this is now, now tell me in this bracket, is there anything which is free from t?
Denominator.
Minus x
Plus 1
minus x
upon
square plus
is minus s the whole square.
x
Plus
square
s square
plus
plus a square
plus s.
outside. Upper limit. Upper limit, when you substitute infinity here in place of this t, what is e
Minus
raised to
infinity.
minus infinity?
0.
0.
0. 0 into anything is 0. So I'll not
0.
substitute here. 0 minus lower limit t is 0. So e raised to 0 is 1
1.
into bracket minus s into sine 0 is
0.
0.
minus a into cos 0 is
1.
1. So what is the value of the whole bracket?
s s plus a
Minus s minus a.
No. S into 0 is 0, no?
Minus a. Plus a.
plus
It is
a
just a.
Plus a.
Just a. This will go. Okay. A divided by s square plus a square. This is Laplace of sine 80. So tell me, for example, if we are finding Laplace of sine of 3t. Sine of 3t. What will get?
3
3 divided by square by
9
9.
Yeah. 3 square or 9. Yes. Let us take. Can you guess what should be the next function then?
Cos.
cos
Cos.
18
Cos of 80.
Cos of 80. So again, by definition, it is integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus st, then cos of 80 dt. Isn't it? We have to use similar result. What we have here for cos. Same thing. So again, we are going to compare with this result. What is A?
minus s
A is minus s, B is A. Yeah, tell me the integral. E raised to minus st divided by a square, that is minus s square plus e square is
It's
a square. Yeah. Into a is minus s here. Cos is there, means
Cos.
cos will come first.
Cos
Cos of
80.
80.
cos 18
What will get in between? Plus or minus?
plus
Plus
Plus.
sine.
A
A sine
into
80.
sine
9
80.
80
T is varying from
0
0
to
to
0 to
infinity.
infinity.
Again, this is 1 upon s square plus a square outside, which is free from t. Upper limit, when you put infinity in place of this t, e raised to minus infinity is 0 into
0.
anything with 0. Minus lower limit t is 0. E raised to 0 is 1
1 of
1.
minus s into cos of 0,
1.
1
1 plus a into Sine of 0.
0
0.
What is the value of the bracket?
plus
Is
S
0.
Yes.
Only
Plus
S.
S minus
plus
It
S.
as
Plus S by
S
S
divided by
square.
S square plus A square.
see the change, huh? Just compare the results. This is Laplace of cos of 80. See the results. Important. So whenever because there will be a confusion. How I'll tell the students to remember, no? See, Laplace of sine 80 is a upon s square plus a square. Denominators are same, but numerator, okay, numerator, I'll just tell you one way of remembering. Laplace of cos ending with s, correct? Cos, s will come. Laplace of sine, okay, n will not come. Either s or a will come, correct? On that basis you can remember, or somehow you just remember. So Laplace of cos 80 is s upon s square plus a square. So what will be Laplace of cos 5t? Cos of 5t.
5 by a square plus a square.
S
Very
by
bad.
S square plus 5
No,
square.
no.
S
S by S
upon
square
s
plus 5
square
square.
plus 5. So did you get the change? If you have a
Yeah.
function sine, then you should write constant divided by s square plus constant square. Denominators are same, but when you have a cos, don't give the preference. Numerator is s only. It will not change. Got it? So this is about the 5 standard functions. There are 2 more that I'll take on Saturday, and I'll take examples on that.
Okay.
Okay? Is the part clear? Any questions?
No, ma'am.